Newly minted Conservative leader Erin O'Toole has a potential election to plan for, just days into the gig. He sat down today with our Ottawa Bureau Chief Mercedes Stephenson for his first one-on-one interview since his victory. Mercedes?
We're here with the West Block in downtown Toronto to meet with the brand new Conservative leader, Erin O'Toole. He's only been in the job for a week, but he already is working on winning over voters from areas like this, the 416 downtown Toronto and the Greater Toronto area. As he approached for our interview, it was interesting to see he was stopped by a significant number of people who knew who he was and wanted to say something. A lot of those Canadians wondering if there will be an election, and we wondered what he's going to do to win over voters who the Conservatives couldn't convince to come on board in the last election. This is what he said.
It's time for a lot of Canadians to take another look at the Conservative Party, including many voters in the GTA, here in the 416, more women, more new Canadians. We actually have a very diverse, talented and passionate caucus. We're going to be growing that. And we want to fight for the interests of Canadians, particularly after the pandemic. Small businesses, startups here in Toronto are having trouble, and they're going to see a Conservative Party really putting forward a plan for the future with a new generation of leadership who is focused on the well-being of the country and not images and selfies as we've seen with Mr. Trudeau.
While Mr. O'Toole says that the Conservatives are ready for an election, it's clear that he's not spoiling for one. He would not commit to bringing the government down or trying to, saying that he has greater priorities at this time. Among those priorities, helping to look after Canadians during the pandemic. And while the opposition has been very critical of the Liberals' approach, we asked them what they would do differently to help Canadians through a second wave of COVID-19 and to get the Canadian economy back on track.
We're going to have their back because we want them to have a job. In fact, the Liberals have no plan after the CERB. We were putting out plans for emergency assistance in EI in February, long before the government even acted to reduce the risks from the coronavirus. So we're going to make sure the economy is growing again, that capital comes to Canada, that there's jobs and investment. And you're going to see a series of policies rolled out that I'm very excited about, because I was in the private sector here in Toronto for 10 years. After my military time, but before politics. As I said, I'm not a celebrity. I'm here to fight for Canadian interests and Canadian families.
We'll have more of that exclusive interview with Erin O'Toole on how he'll manage party unity, introducing himself to Canadians, and the tone in politics nowadays. That'll air on Sunday morning. For the West Block, I'm Mercedes Stephenson in Toronto.